I don't like snakes. My son doesn't like snakes. You shouldn't paint these.
Oh, God.
You should paint sports instead.
All right, we are back with another episode of Waiting to Dry. You thought we were done, didn't you?
Back again.
We're back at it while the world is burning. While the world is burning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Yep, we were back.
Was it the full intro? I didn't know if I should have start talking.
We're keeping it loose. We're keeping it fun.
Nice. Yeah. So we had a month off, right?
Yeah, you were out painting California.
Yeah. And you went on some things, right?
Yeah, Vanessa and I went down to Carmel together.
Yeah, you were painting California.
Yeah, I was doing it in my own way, in my sketchbooky ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. How'd that go?
It was good. So I'm sounding okay, right?
Yeah, but I just realized you tracked a lot of ash into my house, Sergio.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
The world is burning, so I should be given a pass.
Holy shit. I was like, damn. Oh, those aren't my shoes.
You're right.
MJ's feet aren't big.
It's like a smoky ghost.
Yeah. Sorry. Back to it. Carmel.
Yeah. I hope there were no crimes committed recently. There's all types of evidence.
Yeah, bad time to commit crime. You're like, well, he walked there. They just follow you to your house.
Carmel was good. We went there originally because supposed to do a plein air event at that time, but back in March or whatever, and we didn't know that we would still be in this shit half a year later. Right. So we'd already paid for the campsite and made arrangements and all that. So we're just like, just go.
Right. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Close to our anniversary, so just made it a thing. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
nice. That's cool.
Had a good time. Painted a lot.
Yeah, trees and stuff.
Trees and
rocks.
Stuff. Trees and rocks. Plenty of rocks.
How about water?
Some water.
Nice.
Some blues.
That's called the Holy Trinity right there.
Holy Trinity of plein air.
Oh.
And you plein air, you better believe it.
Yeah. And Satan is the sky.
Satan, yeah.
Yeah, it's a reversal, It's not he's not down in hell, but he's up in hell.
It's a reminder to keep your eyes focused where they need to be to achieve your goals.
Yep. Yeah. Wow. Are you writing a book yet?
Yeah.
Because if not,
I'm just working on the foreword for my online course right now.
Yeah, cut that out before someone steals it. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good time.
So yeah, also we just finished doing like a 30-day challenge. There's this company that makes easels, and so every year they put together a challenge, and like I think they have like 5 random winners can win a new easel. So I'm just like, hey, since we're already painting from life just about every day anyway, just figure make it a challenge, and that was all right, but it definitely was a little bit limiting when it comes to like, oh, I got to paint something from life every day. So,
and that was for like how long?
It was 30 days. Yeah, for the month of September.
What was that called?
30-day challenge. Strata Easel Challenge.
Why didn't they call it Easel Timber? You know what I mean?
I know, they would have just...
I only do things that are named after the month, but different. But also the object that you're going to be using.
Right.
That's why I'm doing Inktober, fellas and ladies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you actually doing Inktober?
I don't know, maybe a couple. I don't know. I feel like I always end up drawing like 4 ink drawings and being like, let's pull out these brush pens today for October. They don't get played with enough. That's what she said.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I was literally just talking about that moment in the office. For all you on-office people, that's one of the best. That's what she said moments. They really make art of that joke.
Damn, I gotta check that episode out.
It's just when he says he's not gonna say it, and then like 5 seconds later that happens. But yeah, good times. That's cool though. So, as far as like objects that weren't edible, what else did you cook? Or not cook, but
what else did I cook? Well, toward the end, I was kind of racking my brain for what to paint. So, like a Listerine bottle made its way in there.
Nice.
Which was actually
I saw
pretty
that
fun.
actually.
That was actually pretty fun. A lot of fun shape design.
For sure.
A lot of landscapes. Trying to think, was there anything else? Painted at Judson's house at the mansion there.
Nice.
Painted a greenhouse.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Did you paint any like human toes?
No human toes. I painted a human person, Vanessa, once.
How about any dark basements with anyone chained up?
You know, I should have called you up for ideas, but
All I'm saying is I've never been in your house, Sergio, so I don't know what's going on in there.
I see.
But I don't know. Rumors are out. Someone's a human trafficker.
Well, they're looking in the wrong place. You gotta come to the studio.
Well, I've been there. So nothing.
Well, you don't know what's in the closet.
True. That is true. Well, that's cool. Good. So you did it a month. Every day, one thing?
Pretty much.
That's pretty
well,
good.
Yeah, some of them I loaded up on the same day.
Wait a second. and then what?
And then I acted like I painted it the next day.
Oh my God, Sergio. You're a fucking liar. Oh my God.
Oh, that's not even on here
Silence is
anymore.
deafening.
You are nothing, and you will never be anything.
So you've been lying to your Instagram followers for how long?
About a month.
How many times did you say you painted a cheeseburger, but you really painted it the day before, Sergio? Oh my God.
Not too often.
Oh my God. Disgraceful. I would just like to say that everything I post happened that day.
Yeah.
Man. Sergio.
Yeah, I guess I'll see myself out.
Yeah,
You know
please.
what? I'm just gonna leave.
Everything on the internet has to be true, or else what are we even doing?
Yeah, true.
That's cool. So you're a liar. So we found new fun fact there, everyone.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
I'm not to be trusted, guys.
Well, that's all right. So what was your favorite out of the 30?
Favorite of the 30 to paint? Damn, that's a good question. Maybe the Nintendo DS.
But you said you painted Vanessa.
Yes.
Wow.
You're just trying to trap me in these.
It was just too easy. Wait, the Nintendo DS? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's cool. Did it sell?
Not yet. Available on my website.
Get it now or else miss out.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's to snatch it up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I had fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything else?
Not
Was
yet.
there anything else you did?
I mean, other than like stay in from the smoke.
Oh, no. Fucking hell. So annoying.
Yeah. But that's just been daily life for most of the past month and a half or so.
Yeah, in 4 years. Enough
Yeah.
of that shit.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
crazy.
weird.
It's crazy how like now that's just what happens every year.
Yeah. And it's one of those weird things where I'm like, I'm in it and I hate it, and I also hate hearing about it. You know what I mean? I hate when people post it on their Instagram. I'm like, I know, I live here.
Yeah.
We all know it's on fire. So I don't. I think I'm just a horrible person. Like, is this the most interesting thing happening to you today? Is that the world is on fire? There's other things.
Well, it's also on fire metaphorically as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny when art imitates life.
Speak on it.
I was just gonna. No, I'm like, I got nothing. I was like, should I go into a dumb rant about how the world is all a painting?
Oh, you the smart
But yeah.
But yeah, you've been muraling it up.
Yeah, I've been MJ Lindo's assistant, assistant to the MJ Lindo, which was fun. Yeah, it was good times. I mean, also horrible, but whatever.
Horrible in what way?
I mean, oh man, little things here and there, but for the most part, it was super awesome. Like,
That's cool.
yeah, I just I hate working with people, so that's one thing.
Even your wife.
Even my wife. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter who it is.
Well, at least you're consistent.
Yeah, well, there are people I enjoy working with, but it's not her personality that I enjoy working with.
I see.
I enjoy her in other, hanging out, talking, things like that. But when it comes to like work, it drives me fucking crazy. I mean, just watching her paint drives me crazy. So,
Okay. When it's so different from how you work.
Yeah.
That's not efficient whatsoever.
Yeah, at all. What's funny too is like there's someone that's our friend that we both follow on Instagram, and they paint with like these tiny brushes, extremely slow, and she goes fucking crazy watching it. I'm like, that's how I feel about you. Like, you don't get to be mad at him when you are guilty of the same exact thing. Like, but. Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, we're actually getting we every mural we get better and better at working with each other.
Oh, okay.
Through my like constant yelling at her. But yeah, we're getting better and better at like muraling, like more efficient, more. Because like in general, I don't know how you feel about this, but when I'm painting, I always try to weigh like efficiency versus like reward or something like that.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely.
So obviously you can do some things faster, but it's what you're sacrificing to gain that. So you kind of like weigh those things and decide whether or not you want to go that route. And I feel like muraling is like it's like a turbo version of that, because it's so big and you want to get it done so fast. Because you don't want to be out in the elements longer than you have to be. You don't want to be around like in Sacramento, a lot of aggressive ass homeless people.
Oh, okay.
And you don't want to, it's like all these things. So you're just like, I want to you're away from your house. So you're like, I want to go home. I don't want to be here for that long. So everything is like, how fast can I get it done?
Yeah.
While not having a shitty product.
And you feel like you're dialing into a method that helps with that more?
Yeah, but my mind naturally does that. MJ's doesn't.
Oh, okay.
MJ's mind is like a person who finds a way to do something and then just does that thing.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, she's like, this worked, so I'm just going to do it for everything until it doesn't work. And then I'm going to be like, what should I do, Josh?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how her mind works, is just very much that. I found one way of doing something. Let's just do that forever. But muraling, it doesn't really work that well, because you're just like, come on, there's like a way faster way to do that. And it, doesn't hurt. It's like when we were in Lancaster, it was a art festival, powwow art festival. And there was that artist Gustavo. You know him? I forget his last name.
I bet I've seen him.
Let me just look him up real quick. But yeah, I'm a big fan of his work, and he doesn't really do muraling much.
Oh, okay.
And
I was curious if he was primarily a muralist or not.
no, Gustavo Ramada.
Let me see.
Here, I'll send you a thingy so you don't have to look him up. I think that's I don't know which one. You have so many goddamn.
Either.
I sent it to one of them.
Okay. Arte de Gustavo. Yeah, I've seen that guy.
Yeah, so he was painting a mural
follows me.
there.
I'll follow him back.
Oh wow, Sergio. But yeah, so he was painting a mural there, but there's like these big sections of color, but he would do them with like a small paintbrush.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, and so it's like that, but it's like because that's how he paints. You know, that's. And he kind of even reminds me of how MJ paints.
Okay.
You know, in certain ways, they're not very similar in like the end result, but you can see that they like render out a lot, and they like he leans on like one thing is like his like extreme is like he has like a huge strength in like blending, let's say, colors.
Okay. Yeah.
And so he leans on that really heavily. And the end result is awesome. Like I really like his work. But it's just not how my mind works.
Right.
You know, because I know like it's like that toy when you're a kid with like the star and the square and shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like some shit just doesn't work well. You got to like find the right tool or find the right wooden dong for the right hole.
You're right.
But yeah. So we're just working through those issues. That's like the main issue is like that and MJ designing murals halfway.
Oh, okay.
Like MJ's like, she'll go like, there's let's say a plant there or something, right?
Okay.
Or whatever, but it'll be like one flat color, like an outline and one flat color.
Okay.
So I'm like, how do you want that painted? Like this is her mural.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do you want that painted? And she's just like, I don't know. And I have to like figure it out.
I see.
Which drives me nuts. Because for anyone trying to get into muraling, I find that like the more you have that design worked out previous to coming to the wall,
Sure, yeah.
the better. It's just easier. Because you can just like, if I have an assistant, I can just go like, yeah, just paint it exactly how it looks there. Like I don't need you to figure out anything. Just paint it like how it looks.
Right.
You know, we're trying to like problem solve on the wall is a bit trickier because you don't want to do that. I mean, there's going to be problem solving period, but if you can mitigate it previously to get in the wall.
Well, I know you like to problem solve on the canvas.
Yeah.
So
which is very
that a different like shift for you? Like
100%.
Yeah.
It's like almost like I think it's closer to what you do. Where like by the time I'm working on a mural, like everything should be figured out, and we're just executing because you want to get in and out. Like you don't want to be there figuring out shit. Or like let's say if there's a big section of the wall and you have an idea and it fails because you haven't worked it out. That means you have a huge section of the wall you have to redo.
Yeah.
And that shit all costs money. Costs money and time, which is like not good. Because you could have worked it out at your house and saved yourself the money and time.
Right.
And it doesn't change the outcome of the wall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just don't do it. It doesn't make any sense.
I see.
There's no big explorations I mean, maybe people are there. We're not there yet, though. Well, I can't just like go to a wall and be like, let me feel the concrete on my hands.
Exactly.
Let me breathe the homeless urine and really feel the sense.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if I can. So to me, that's one of those things where it's like we learned that I learned that the first, like the mural down the street from our house, like the first big mural. I was like,
Okay.
oh, if I design it further along, so that when we get to the wall, we don't have to like think or anything. But MJ, I think, just learned that this last mural.
Oh, okay. The one in
Sacramento.
Sacramento, yeah.
Yeah. So, slowly but steadily becoming better at working together. But yeah, good times though.
Well, I was going to say, like, I was curious if, like, her trying to, like, find one thing that works and just stick with that was the result of being self-taught. But, like, since you're self-taught and you don't do it that way, just, like, where do you think that comes from? Do you think it's, like, because... Well, I guess she's been painting in oils longer than you, so maybe, like, bad habits stuck around.
I think it's also because she's like Latin. Just kidding. I don't know. I don't know exactly why. She has like I don't know. I don't know if it's like I really don't know if it's a personality trait. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I take a bit more risk in general in life than she's will, and I don't know if that's based around her personality or how she was raised. Her mom was very like terrified of the world for her kind of mentality, what I mean? So like maybe the difference in how we were raised caused us to be able to kind of like try things and try different new things and not be afraid, and maybe she doesn't have that habit. I don't know if it's a habit or personality trait. I guess is what I would say.
Yeah.
But I feel like she can get there. She's like, I feel like she moves much slower at getting there. Like it's like she holds on to like the technique so tight.
I see.
But I don't know. Yeah. Before you went to art school, were you kind of like that? Were you kind of like, would you stick to one thing?
Trying to think. I guess so. Just learning off of what I learned from like those how to draw books, and I just figured, okay, well, nobody's shown me any other way how to do this, so I guess I'll keep doing this until somebody shows me a better way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe, I mean, and you think that art school helped you kind of like explore different techniques?
Oh, for me, for sure. Yeah, because like once that whole world of different techniques opened up to me, that became what was fun about drawing and painting and stuff. Was like, oh, I see what somebody else is doing. I'm like, oh, I want to try that and just do it that way. And either I would find like some like step by step of how they did it, or I would just try and copy and see how close I could get to it. But yeah, I'm always just like thinking about like a better way to do things, especially when it comes to like painting for gallery shows and all that. Just trying to get to be a more efficient way of putting out art. It's kind of what you were saying with the murals. Like the more efficient you get is just like the more money that you either get or stays in your pocket when it comes to all that stuff. Right. So yeah, I'm pretty much always thinking of the next like best way to do things. Yeah, there's this efficient rule I just recently learned, which is like you can paint 2 paintings in one day and then post it the next day and then tell people you painted that day to do a 30-day challenge if that helps you at all. Yeah, the Sergio method. You get it. People won't respect you after they find out the truth, though. So make sure that secret never gets out if you decide to use that trick. Well, money talks, respect can walk. Facts. But yeah. But there is the fact that like sometimes when people really hyper focus on like one technique, then like
it does something where like you can become like the master of that thing
For sure.
and really
Yeah.
set yourself apart and have like a very unique style to yourself. And that's always like the tricky thing with me and MJ is like I'm always trying to not have her stop doing what she does because I feel like her thing is kind of her thing. Like she does have like a very unique way of applying paint that's very much her.
Yeah.
But it's like the Gustavo thing where it's like there's moments where like you can save time and not like ruin like what's like special about your work, let's say. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like pinpointing those things and being like, I can save a day or a couple hours here and there by utilizing other techniques or a thicker brush, let's say.
Yeah.
And not destroy like what makes your art special. So it's like pinpoint those things, like think about them while you're working. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're all capable of doing that. We all have brains in our heads. Mm-hmm. So like, it's just, I think that specific thing is very much a habit thing because I think a big part of why I think that way is like the work I did, like outside of art.
Oh, okay.
Because you work with a lot of guys who have done the job for a long time, and the jobs a lot of times are dangerous.
Okay.
And so there's a thing where you want to be efficient and do it safely. And so you get really good at picking up other people's good habits, or if someone tells you something, like say if I'm fucking up and doing something dumb, someone will just yell at me and tell me I'm fucking up or like stop doing that, that's dumb or whatever. There's no like cushion to what
the stakes are higher.
Yeah.
Than that,
and you don't feel anything negative towards that. You don't go like fuck that guy, because if you do, if that's your personality, if you go fuck that guy, don't tell me what to do, then you're gonna fail. And you're either not gonna have those people want to work with you, or you're not gonna learn and you're gonna like stay a shitty person or get hurt or whatever.
Right.
So you either have to be like accepting of criticism and learn from it and pick up on, you know, if a guy's worked at the job for like 20 years and he's doing something a certain way and you like, oh, cool, that's a really good idea of how to do that. I'm going to take that and use it in my like, you know, tool belt of how to do things. and there's no like ego involved or anything. It's just, there's a better way to do it. He's doing it great. If I'm doing it bad, I mean, we don't have that in art other than, you know, maybe our podcast yelling at people all the time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I've had that conversation with MJ where I'm like, if I yell at you while we're muraling, it's only because it's the fastest way to get my point across. Like, I don't feel any like anger towards you or anything.
Has she gotten better about like not taking it too personal?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, and I told her like if I'm doing something bad, just yell at me, and I don't care. And if I snap back because of whatever reason, then just yell at me again, like, and say stop being a bitch. You know, like you know, because it's like if you're on scissor lifts in general, that's a dangerous machine. So it's like. If I'm going to run into something, just yell at me and be like, hey, there's something behind you, stop, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And if I don't listen to you, then that's me being a fucking idiot.
Right.
But yeah, I think years of doing that work has really helped me kind of like, you know, there's a skill in noticing when someone does something good. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like there's a skill in that. There's a skill in saying like, oh, that person knows what the fuck they're doing.
Oh, okay.
And then either paying attention to it or asking them or whatever. That's a skill. And if you have that ability, then you can grow really fast.
So the skill is being like proactive and like learning how to.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like when I go to an art show, if I see paintings, I'm always trying to look at who I don't understand how they got there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And then I look at the painting extremely hard and I try to like catch the light on it and see how like, you know, certain things hit the light so I can figure out maybe the layers to it or whatever, but you know, that's me seeing something that I don't understand and trying to figure out how to do it. And the more you do that, the less you have to do it, because then you start seeing more and more things and you're like, oh, I know I did that. I know I did that.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and the more you can get those tools, even if you don't use them, I feel like the better, because they're at least an option.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like having all those options. That's just how I like to make art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just knowing like what skill set will work best for this subject or whatever I'm tackling.
Yeah.
It's just more fun for me that way.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it just becomes like juggling with like 100 things rather than 4.
Yeah.
And as long as like the end result is awesome, I feel like that's a thing to keep us as artists entertained, and probably like the artist viewer geek out on it a little bit. But for the most part, it's very personal when it comes to that stuff, because, you know, people don't give a shit for the most part.
Yeah, and I think as long as you don't totally like try and ditch your own way of painting for the sake of trying to make your art look good because you think somebody else's art looks good, your own voice is just going to come out all the time anyway, or like your own style or whatever. Yeah, I think, as long as you're just not trying to like fully on copy someone, then I think you're fine. Right. But yeah, I don't think people should. I was telling MJ this. I don't know what you think about it, but I was like, I was telling her that like thought around style recently was like that if all you're trying to do is paint the best painting you can at this time, then like that should be like your style will just come through. Like your goal shouldn't be like I'm trying to nail a style. Your goal should be like I'm trying to do like this idea that at this moment is like the thing I want to do and I'm really hyped on. You know what I mean? And like pushing myself the hardest. And I forget what we were talking about. I think we were talking about kind of like if the artist has a duty to not segue so hard in their art, let's say. What do you mean by like, not segueing?
To not like have a style, and then I think what we were talking about was how people get pigeonholed in a style. Okay. Right, and then they become flat and they become boring, and and then people kind of lose, interest in their work or whatever. I don't remember who the fuck we were talking about. I feel like it was one of those juxtaposed guys. That are like, they've kind of been around forever, but the progress of their work has kind of fallen flat. Okay. I mean, even like, I feel like I like Sylvia G's work, but I feel like she's kind of been like that for a while now, and it's great work, but like it loses its luster after like, after a while.
Is she still like creating new work?
I don't think so, but every once in a while she does. And a lot of it's like, it's what she does. And you're like, all right. I mean, how many times do you have to like there's nothing and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she still loves painting it or whatever. I would be very surprised if that was so.
Yeah, me too. Because unless she's just showing her work in areas I don't see. Like it doesn't look like she's putting out much art anyway. Right. And maybe that's part of it. Like she just like hit a wall or something, or just like kind of lost passion for it. I don't know.
But I think a lot of that comes from being pigeonholed by your own mental like fear of changing it up on your viewers or whatever. Right.
For sure.
And so I think me and MJ, we were having a conversation about like, is there any truth to that? Like, should you, like, it's like, it happens all the time with like musicians where you're like, what the fuck is going on? And then like, Garth Brooks isn't whatever that dude's name is anymore. Or like, do you know what I mean? Or like a rap album that just his old shit was the best shit,
You're afraid to Chris Gaines it as an artist.
Yeah, Chris Gaines it. So we're having that conversation, and I said, well, the way to like combat that is just to constantly like push yourself and try to make the best painting you can at this moment. Don't think about like your style as like this thing you're attached to, because like your style will always come through.
Right.
Like, because I feel like your style is like your ability to paint and like the bag of tricks that you normally just lean towards, right? As like an artist, but like having like something that's maybe more difficult than you've ever done, or like whatever. Those things I feel like is what keeps your shit fresh. And we all love fresh shit.
Yeah, exactly. Fresh shit. We all love it.
I don't know where this all started, and it seemed like it's about to end.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about style as it, I guess maybe as it relates to efficiency and how important that is in muraling.
Yeah.
Do you think that as you get further along with muraling, that your style will evolve to something that is, I guess, I don't know, more simple for the sake of efficiency? And do you think that'll carry into your easel stuff?
I don't think, at least for right now, I don't think it'll carry into my easel stuff. I'm sure there's like little things here and there that I might pick up and go like, oh, that'd be cool to paint. But the mural stuff is so different in my head. Like they're such like different animals. They happen to use a lot of the similar like skill set. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that whole thing out, like the whole like style of things or whatever. Like I don't know if like mural work and my artwork are going to be that similar at the end of the day. I have a feeling they're going to slowly drift apart from each other.
Oh, interesting. Because I would think that they would like merge somehow in some way.
Yeah, I think that they kind of like. I mean, I love doing my studio work way more than muraling. Like I really, really enjoy muraling, but my mural stuff is like that's like my main bitch.
Okay.
And muraling is like my side chick.
Okay.
I know you like metaphors. So sorry guys. So the like freedom that comes from like the studio work, I like so much better. Where like the audience plays such a bigger role in mural work to me than my studio work. My studio work, I can give a fuck about what anyone thinks. I'm like very much like I have an idea of what I think like the best painting I want to create is, and I'm like at least at this moment. And best, I don't know if best is the right word, but like the thing I'm most hyped about, let's say, is this thing, and I'm going to do it, and I don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. I'm just going to do it no matter what. And then mural work, there's always going to be a part where you want to tie in the city with the mural, maybe sometimes, but not always. But you kind of, it's there. Like, even if you don't do it, it's still in your head as maybe a part of the equation of creating the artwork.
Right.
You know, and then how many people will view it and where it's at. Like all these things play a role in kind of dictating what you're going to create.
Okay.
And so, you know, with all of that comes a bit of like, you know, people are going to see this, which means kids are going to see this. And it's like, and a lot of mural stuff in my head is for the children. It's like Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But more.
Yeah. Wu-Tang plus.
So, because a big part of like murals for me is like that makes me excited is thinking about like the murals that like really got me excited as a kid, and even into like my like early teens and maybe early 20s. Like I remember like Hate Street having like a ton of like amazing murals, you know, like Doze Green and those guys. And you were like, I just remember being like, holy fuck, like, like, and just being extremely inspired by it. And, you know, larger, even like the larger scale murals at that time, I feel like weren't that big compared to like the mural game now. There's like skyscraper shit. But just being like in awe of like the scale of it and like seeing like these artists in real life that like I really liked, you know, and those type of things. And so in my head, it's like kind of like creating that, like, it's like, that's what really gets me hyped off the like mural stuff is going like, there's a kid that lives on this block, you know what I mean? Like lives in this neighborhood and gets to see this regularly. And then it's like, fuck, like that's awesome to me because I like, it was the same way with me, like the little bits of like graffiti or mural work that was around me, like always like like they're stuck in my brain to this day.
That's cool.
You know, so, and that influences what I create as well because I'm not like, you know, trying to like paint nudes on a wall, talk about like, I don't know, whatever I'm talking about in my art, or make dark humor jokes. It's like, it's like I kind of want to make, I don't know, it's like I'm making I don't know, like an X-Men movie or something. You know, like a PG, like a PG-13 range movie, not like a where like my art is like
not an art house film.
Yeah, exactly. My art can go wherever it goes.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, which is like, you know, limiting, but it's a challenge is what it is. I mean, it could be a thing you hate, but like. If you phrase it differently, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a new challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. I keep telling MJ, I don't know what you think about this, but I'm like, I keep telling her like any idea can be done, if done well, can be a good idea.
I think so. It's about how you approach it, like the creativity and uniqueness involved in it.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like Game of Thrones, for instance. Like, there's dragons. The reason people don't watch that show is because they're like, oh, is there dragons? Fuck off then. I don't watch that shit.
Right.
I mean, but for the people that, like, had that idea and then ended up watching it and were like, holy fuck, you realize, like, yeah sometimes dragons can be awesome. You know what I mean? Avatar, right? Blue people, tall blue people, like, I mean, like it or not, like if you watch that movie, I watched a little clip of it recently and I was like, holy shit, it still looks awesome. Like they still,
oh really?
Like it's still aged good. Like it still looks really good. And I was like, that's crazy. Cause I thought for sure it was going to look like a piece of shit. But yeah, I mean, fucking like I don't know if it still is, but it was like the biggest movie of all time, and you know, and people fucking loved that movie. I mean, adults dressed as blue people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not like you know, like
people talked about it being kind of, at least at the time, it hasn't really panned out this way, but people were talking about like it's the next Star Wars.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the idea is the exact thing as like Ferngully. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember those jokes too.
Yeah. And so like, I guarantee if I watch Ferngully, I'm like, oh my God, this movie is cheesy as fuck. You know? But like, if no diss to Ferngully, it is of its time.
Yeah.
But like, if it's done good enough, people don't give a fuck. Like, what the tacky idea is or whatever, you know. But you got to nail it. That's the tricky part.
Do you feel like you're getting better at finding good ideas?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we've talked about this before with like narrative type art.
like the skill in creating.
Yeah.
narrative,
I mean, it's just like painting. It's like if you work at it, you get better at it.
Sure.
And like, just like painting, there's always going to be cliche ideas and you don't see them until you see them kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
So like, I never try to fault anyone if they're doing shit that's like, overly done because they probably thought it was, unless they were copying someone, they probably thought it was like genius or some shit.
You mean like if somebody does a cliche and they don't like realize it's a cliche?
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't even know how I feel about those things. Like, because there's like the whole like teenage angst thing. It's like,
oh, sure.
It's like, if kids paint dark art at that time and they're like, life is pain and shit like that, and they write things like that. I'm like, I get it. Like, you're a teenager.
Sure.
Like,
right. Yeah, of course.
And maybe that's how everything is,
Sure. Yeah. Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. And then you progress and maybe.
Yeah. It's like the I guess probably the writing equivalent of painting like apples and cubes and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if this really ties into it, but I had this funny idea, where I was like thinking, this pertains to you a good amount because I was thinking about the idea of painting beauty, as like, that's like a very, common goal a lot of artists pursue is to paint beauty. And it made me think, I was thinking of a comparison in other arts. And I came to the conclusion that painting beauty is the equivalent to a fart joke in comedy.
Okay.
It never gets old. It's always good. But,
but it's low hanging fruit.
No, not. I don't even think it's low hanging fruit. Have you ever heard Dave Chappelle talk about? He's like a poop joke or a fart joke, and he's just like, that shit is genius.
Yeah. Oh, right.
And he's like the greatest comedian of our time. So like,
yeah, I heard comedians always talk about like, no matter how good my joke is, like it's always trumped by a fart.
Exactly. Yes, it's like. So there's nothing. That's why I thought it was like a perfect analogy because it's like it's not like there's nothing negative about a fart joke. People can make it seem that way, but like it's beautiful. It's beautiful in its simplicity.
Right. Yeah. That's funny.
Or it could be the most complicated fart joke. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, that's. I don't know how we jumped there. What were we talking about?
Well, was there anything beyond what you were saying there? Or is that just kind of like your thought about it?
It was just a thought because you were saying something, and I was like, oh, that reminded me of the fart beauty analogy I just thought of.
I see. Fart beauty. The beauty of a fart. Yeah.
It's just like what is what. I think I was driving and I thought of it. I was just thinking about like artists. Oh no, I think I was talking to someone. I can't remember. I just remember thinking about maybe it was a podcast where they were saying something about capturing beauty as an artist.
Okay.
And I remember, I think I was trying to think of an equivalent. I don't know. Either way, you were talking about something that made me think of that.
Okay.
Sorry. Really took us somewhere that has no depth.
Well, I'll change the subject slightly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you meet anybody out there that you really connected with, like as far as like other muralists and?
Yeah, the powwow group was really cool, like in general, like the whole group.
So are they like a collective or what are they?
No, it's just art. Or
they just
pick a bunch of
artists who just come together at the point.
The powwow thing is like, I don't know, it's an art festival or a mural festival that like happens around the world. And they just pick artists and muralists to like meet there and paint a bunch that, like those 2 weeks or whatever, or I don't know how long exactly it is. But yeah, Casey Weldon was awesome. Like
I saw you
he
hung out with them in your stories. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like he's like the whole group was. I mean, the whole
Was
group
he doing murals there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Him. I mean, Gustavo was awesome. The girl next to them was this girl named Chloe, who was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, look at you remembering names.
yeah, surprisingly. I know the people, the guy that's, because we're on opposite walls to this guy whose name is Raid, who was really like, it was just a good time. Like it was right up my like in my like speed of things, you know, like everyone would paint and then we'd all meet up at the park.
Okay.
And just get drunk and like
That's cool.
talk shit and stuff. Every night. So it's like,
Yeah, I was curious about the social aspect of that.
yeah,
Like I'm sure everybody's in work mode while they're muraling, but then,
Yeah.
like what happens afterwards?
yeah. It was all. I mean, even like the photographers, like there was like a couple, Ian and Lanny, that were really cool. They just it was just. Yeah, I guess the years before, because of COVID, they didn't do it. But the years before, they would have like all these events that you'd have to go to, and it seemed like that's not my speed. You know, like I would much rather like hang out with people and get drunk and be a little sloppy and make bad jokes, or you know.
Sure.
So
Make fart jokes.
yeah, fart jokes. Yeah, so that's kind of how this year was. It seems like it was very different from years before, which
Oh, well,
thank
yeah.
God. But yeah, they were awesome. And then Sacramento was like way more just like work.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't really get to hang out too many artists. But the ones I hung out with were super awesome. Yeah.
What was the one in Sacramento called again?
Oh, Wide Open Walls.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a yearly thing too, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that one's actually, they've got some really good artwork in that one.
Nice.
Because the powwow was like worldwide. So like all the murals you see are like some in Hawaii, some in Japan, some in
Okay.
like a Nordic country. I forget which one. Like, you know, like they're all over the place. So, but when you go to like Sacramento, like I don't really go to downtown Sacramento.
Yeah.
So like driving around there was like, holy shit, there goes blah, blah, blah. And you're like, because every year they do it. So they're just like constantly adding more and more murals to like one city.
Do they add to like, are they new walls every time? Oh, okay. That's awesome. Actually.
Yeah. So it's just like jam packed with like a crazy amount of murals. It kind of makes me upset of like with San Francisco. It's like, what the fuck doesn't San Francisco have like like the amount of murals they had there in such a small section of like this, like in the downtown area is so impressive that I'm like, fuck, San Francisco looks lame as shit. Like as far as like public art is concerned, they don't like hold a candle to like the amount of talent that they have there. I mean, maybe they do, but it's so dense there with that. And like a wide ranging amount of artists, you know, that I don't know, to me it was awesome.
I wonder if the city itself makes it easier in Sacramento than doing it in San Francisco. Like,
Maybe.
like, I don't know, whatever permits or whatever type of red tape gets in the way of that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. San Francisco's a weird one. I mean, we have only done murals for a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe.
Have you guys have done a mural in San Francisco, right? No.
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, but it's, I mean, there's some, we've tried to get some call for artists there for like bigger jobs.
Okay.
But you know, those are always like, you have a high competition rate there. So we're hoping to land one at some point. But those would be nice. I think like there's some that are like a lot of money.
Oh, wow.
Like $200,000.
Damn.
But yeah, there's like these two, like there's like level. So there's like the level that's like the high, like call for artist level. And then there's like liquor store type shit.
Sure.
And a lot of like the liquor store type stuff is going to like not pay you anything and, you know, make you feel like they're doing you a favor or something.
Oh, like that's their attitude.
Yeah, at least from what I've experienced. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Maybe there's.
you might be right about that. Yeah, I feel like, but I feel like that's kind of the attitude people have when you do shows like local type shows where they're like, well, there's a million people trying to get into this. I don't know, little pop-up show, whatever. And so you have the right to be like, you're looking for us, basically.
Yeah.
Rather than the other way around.
Yeah, there was this, what was it? There was this gallery in the Mission. I don't know if it's still open or not, but their contract for working with them was so fucking bad. It was
really?
It was something like they get like 65, you get 35.
Oh, okay. They're trying to pull that shit. Huh?
Yeah, and then it was something like there was like all these like stipulations of like things you have to do.
Oh, really?
And you're like, why? Like it was one of those like gallery boutique things too. So you're like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, and they try to explain themselves, and you're like, no, I'm not gonna work with you. Are you crazy? Like,
what was their explanation? I'm curious.
I can't remember. MJ got farther down the line. I think they asked me, and I was like, no. And then MJ was like, maybe. But fuck that. I know one of them was like, we have rent to pay. You're like, oh yeah.
Well, that's your
weird.
bad.
I know. I didn't know that you had rent to pay. Like, I don't know if you know this, but everyone, for the most part, pays rent. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you might like have like a fucking, be born into like a rich family or something, get lucky. But like for the most part, if you're an artist, you also have to pay rent. Crazy person. We don't.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really sick of that as a justification for. And it's like, yeah, I mean, even if I personally don't have that much rent to pay, like there's still plenty of just being an artist. There's so much extra cost to what we do.
Yeah, it's also like most galleries, they do group shows now. So you're like, all right, well, you pay rent and you're putting in one piece of mine, and if I sell it, like if there's 100 artists in a show and you sell 20 pieces, that means 20 artists get paid for their painting and you get paid for 20 artists painting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like you benefit from that. And not only that, but most likely the 100 artists have better social medias than you.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do marketing anymore. So you don't pay them for that. So now you get the benefit of 100 muralists shouting you out for an art show while making more money than any of them can actually make in that show.
Yeah.
So like, what the fuck are you trying to do? Taking more from them, you crazy people. Like, some people suck at this shit. And, you know what I mean, you're gonna fail. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were gone.
Yeah. Or they just, don't deal with artists anymore at all.
Yeah.
Like if they're a boutique, that means what? They're probably selling other stuff in their showroom.
Yeah,
so
it was all garbage.
But yeah, I mean, it's
shit.
like good for you for cracking the code or whatever, but I don't have to like play into your system if I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's so nice to not have to do that.
For sure. But yeah.
But yeah, I imagine there's probably a lot of artists who either don't know there's a better way to do it, or it's a vanity thing for them, even like just to show like in a place like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like, I don't care. If I make money, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never get it. People gotta know their fucking value. It's like, with the like for instance the Sacramento Mural Festival, like they want me to be associated with it.
What do you mean?
Like first, MJ, like this is like we're calling it like MJ's mural, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Even though like I'm even though I painted like 80% of that mural. No big deal. But yeah, so they hired MJ to do the job. They paid her an amount that like was not that much money. But she did it because we had a conversation about these 2 mural festivals, and we were like, let's have you do them as an experiment to see if it can lead to other things.
Okay. Yeah.
And we were like, it'll just be an experiment. If it doesn't work, then fuck it. We get paid a little bit of money. We'll probably end up like close to like, even at the end of it. But we'll have like 2 murals that you can paint whatever you want on. That we can put in our portfolio when we apply to other jobs, and then hopefully we can get work from people seeing it. And maybe there's some other benefit to being associated with these mural festivals, but we're not sure. So let's like do this as like a test to see what comes from it. You know, like that's kind of our mentality going into this, because it's like, we don't know. Like, I mean, all this shit is like, a lot of mural shit is just kind of like learn as you go.
Right.
So yeah, so we did the mural festival with that in mind, but the guy that runs the Sacramento thing, he wanted me to also do a wall.
Okay.
And I was like, for sure, we would have to probably talk about price, because I don't know how much I would be willing to do it to get, like, how much I would need to get paid to do a wall, because I wasn't okay with what MJ got paid.
Yeah.
And so he was like, oh yeah, for sure. And then he kept trying to like nudge me as like a salesman.
Okay.
And you know, it's like, I mean, there's nothing against that. Like,
right,
go ahead, like take your shot.
Gotta do, yeah.
Yeah. And so, but he'd be like, oh, like, and they try to squeeze me in and be like, oh, we got a wall for Josh. And MJ asked like, how much are you going to pay him? They're like, oh, we can't at this moment. I was like, all right, no.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
yeah.
No, it's that simple. You know, and then even with like MJ's wall, they were like, they put a plaque on the wall and they're like, can we put Josh's name on it? And I was like, no, you can't. Like, this isn't my shit. I'm her assistant. Like, I just kept telling people that. It's like, I'm just her assistant. Like, this is her wall. It has nothing to do with me.
So why are they so insistent about having your name on the wall?
I think they like the more credibility, like the more artists they have that are credible, the better it is for them.
Okay.
And so, and I think they probably also enjoy like when people shout them out and stuff. It helps with their media and stuff. So, but it's like, I'm not going to do any of that. Like every time I post something, I post about like MJ Lindo, and I'm like, oh, I helped MJ on this wall. But I'm not going to shout them out, because it's like, I'm not associated with this. This is her thing. I'm her assistant. And if you want to like get the benefit of like me as being involved with it, like you have to pay me money. Like you're a business. I need to get paid money if you want me to be a part of your thing, you know? So, I mean, the reason this comes up is because people need to know what one thing people need to learn how to do is say no. Like,
for sure. Yeah.
Like, not only is that a benefit because you don't spread yourself thin, but I've found that like the more you turn people down who are like salesman-ish, the more you get their respect, and the more you might actually, like, saying no can get you paid more in the long run. You know what I mean? Like, if you're good enough, or, you know, or something like that. So,
yeah. The flip side to that is that you have to know that you're worth something and be able to show it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's easy to say no when nobody's asking you to say yes.
Yeah.
But I know exactly what you mean. I feel like it's probably just like as your especially like your Instagram, as your Instagram hits like the 100K mark, I bet like all of a sudden all sorts of people out of the woodwork gonna come out.
They already do. It's annoying as shit. People always want you to be a part of their thing.
Yeah.
But you have to just say no all the time, because it's like, no. Like, what do I get from it? Like, even like sponsorship is like, like I don't care about your thing. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and I don't care about like, you know, if you get like art sponsorship and they're like, they'll pay you money to thingy, but their stuff sucks. It's like, why would I do that?
Right.
Like, why would I sell people who like my work shit product
Yeah.
for a small amount of money? It's like, I don't know. It's not worth. None of that shit's worth it. I mean, maybe it's worth it if it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like if the product's good and you're hyped off of it, or if they pay you a crazy amount of money, then maybe I'll be like, sorry, people, buy this shitty thing.
Yeah.
They're paying my rent for a year.
Wink, wink. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you definitely need to know your value, and yeah, it helps when you don't need them. Do you know what I mean? That's
Right,
where, like,
exactly, yeah.
Self-sufficiency comes in, or is that right? Self-sufficient. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Is that right? That sounded wrong. Self-sufficiency.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
I'm smart over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, you have to get to the point where you're not reliant on anyone else.
Right. Yeah. Because then they have no leverage.
Right.
over you.
Yeah. God, leverage can really kill you. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody else has it over you.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if it's like a crane and it's, you know, got something heavy.
Like an anvil's about to fall in
Yeah.
Tune style.
That leverage.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yes. You get me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, saying no, I feel like, is such a benefit sometimes. It has like so many beneficial things to it.
Oh yeah, when you start to have leverage, man, that makes a world of difference.
Well, the word no is leverage sometimes,
Yeah.
or creates leverage. I don't know. There's no wrap up to that. Just say no people all the time.
Yeah.
The opposite of the Yes Man movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Just say no to everything.
One thing I kind of was curious about was like the actual doing murals. Like, what happens when something gets in the way of that? Like, because it's not just like an easel in your studio where you do have to deal with the elements and the
Yeah, when we're
homeless and
when
stuff
we're
like
in
that.
Lancaster, it was 113 degrees.
I was worried about that. I was like, how? Yeah. How do
Oh
you do
my
this?
fucking! It was so hot. You know, we had our wedding,
It's
same
the
exact
desert. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, MJ almost got heat stroke.
Yeah.
There was a guy painting and his nose just started bleeding.
Oh fuck.
What the fuck else happened? I got like tendonitis in my hand. I think because
really?
the wall was like kind of like lumpy, you know, so you had to like dig into it.
Oh, okay. That's
And
what
I
the thing around.
Yeah, and I think I got
handle.
dehydration.
Yeah.
So it just like this ligament here is just like when I move it weird, it feels like someone's playing it like a guitar and it fucking hurts.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so so that who the fuck else? There was other people that got other shit.
You just had to power through the tendonitis.
Yeah, I just learned to not use my wrist a lot,
I
which
see.
is a good fucking yeah,
The
a lot of this, a lot of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other people. Yeah, and then you have homeless and opinions. Someone told Casey Weldon that like they walked up to his, which was a lady holding two snakes with cat heads.
Okay.
And she was like, I don't like snakes. My son doesn't like snakes. You shouldn't paint these.
Oh God.
You should paint sports instead.
Sports. That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like that's like you should paint nature. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I saw when we were in Sacramento, there was a lady who like I saw bend the corner and see our mural. And the second she saw it, she like froze and like gave it like the craziest look and did one of these. She was just like and put the cigarette to her mouth and just wide eye smoked it and just was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, that lady is like, she seems like she's on one. And,
Yeah. Has a fear of pandas.
and so she walks up to MJ and she's like, are you the artist? And MJ's like, yeah. And she's like, what does it mean? And MJ like very loosely based the concept off of like Jack and the Beanstalk.
Okay.
Like very loosely.
Okay.
And you know, like where they're like pillaging while the giant's sleeping kind of.
Oh, all right.
And Jack, I guess, is the glowing pandas in this scenario.
Sure.
But so MJ tells her that, and the lady's like, no. And then she's like, well, she's like, that's not what it's about. And she's like, it's about MK Ultra
Oh, no.
and the Illuminati. And this is done by the Illuminati. And she was like, every mural in the city is about this and is done by the Illuminati.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what you got to deal with. Those are things you have to deal with when you paint glowing pandas. And we should have known that going into it.
Well, I don't know. Those glowing pandas look dope to me. So.
Thank you.
If it was, thank you, Illuminati, for brightening my day.
Well, I painted the glowing Illuminati's like 80% of that mural, so thank you, Sergio.
You mean agent lawyer.
Yeah. But yeah, it was funny because the guy came with a drone,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, it'd be hilarious if she showed up again, and then you flew your drone and just followed her for a while. Also horrible for her on her end.
Yeah.
Horrible, but for us, hilarious.
I was right.
But yeah, it's yeah, there's definitely some pitfalls. Like right where we were painting in Sacramento,
What street was it on? Do you remember?
16th and J Street.
Okay, so like Midtown, yeah.
Yeah. And if anyone wants to go check it out. But like next to the wall, there was like these dumpsters. And like day 2 or 3, we got like a fresh one. You know what I mean? Right there, right next to our dumpster, just human poop, which I hate poop. I hate it. I hate my own poop. I hate everyone's poop. I hate poop.
I forget. Were you Poo Poo Mountain or Pee Pee River?
I forgot all about that. I don't even remember what that was about.
Would you rather live on Poo Poo Mountain or a lake or
Pee Pee River for sure.
Okay, yeah, I think I was Pee Pee River too.
Yeah, fuck Poo Poo Mountain. Ugh. I can't handle poop at all. I have like a horrible gag reflex.
Oh, okay.
And
Really?
there's like certain smells that the second I smell them, I just start like, and poop is one of those by far. So yeah.
How'd you deal with it then?
Well, the wall was big, you know, so it was just far as I could get. Yeah. It was tough. But yeah, I mean, there was a mural we did in the beginning of this month in Roseville.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And that one smelled like piss so bad, and there was no hiding from it. It was just like, the wall was small, so it was just like, you're there, you're smelling, because it was like right next to a dumpster, and there
There's
was
no like washing it away anyhow or any.
well, there was poop and pee, and I don't know where the closest drain was, and we didn't really have running water near us, so
Yeah. Okay.
and it was next to a dumpster, and there was a homeless guy that was living out of his car right next to that dumpster.
Okay.
So like,
So all
was-
evidence points to
yeah,
the
it was just like
culprit
mountains of poo and pee, but the poo I think like faded,
there. Okay.
but the pee smell concentrated. That rhymes. No big deal. But yeah, and that was like, it was a short mural. I think it took us 4 days, but it's like for those 4 days, you're just like getting punched in the face by the pee smell.
Damn.
Yeah, good times. So, you know, I mean,
Otherwise, a good
yeah,
experience.
it's kind of like plein air, but worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of fresh air, You know, so instead of going out and seeing a beautiful scene in fresh air, we're kind of creating the beautiful scene and there's no fresh air.
Well, that's not the reason I don't do a lot of urban plein air, but it's definitely not helping its case.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it is what it is. I mean, it's fun. It's cool. I like it. I like the scale of things. There's something like really cool about like, because you can't really like step back that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
Like I like if I'm painting an orange, I'll step back and like look at the orange, right? Mm-hmm. Which was the first time I've ever painted an orange was recently.
Oh, really? How funny.
I realized I've never painted fruit before.
There were a lot of fruit paintings in that challenge, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are just like, well, it's COVID, so I'm not going anywhere. What's in my pantry to paint?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, you step back and you might look at the orange.
Yeah.
And maybe once a day we would pull our car back because we were in a parking lot. So we'd pull our car to the end of the parking lot and like, look at it and kind of like, think, okay. And so you would stand back from your painting, like your actual painting, and take it in once a day.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So it's so like different than painting.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. Like, if you're up on like a scissor lift or something, there's no stepping back.
Not at all.
Damn. So planning is like way more important.
Way more important. Yeah. Yeah. And MJ.
That totally makes sense.
MJ plans only for the stuff because MJ, when it's her design, she usually takes the whole time to paint the figures.
Yeah.
So like everything around the figure that she's like, I'm done glowing pandas and fucking fruits and whatever, this and that, trees and fucking boxes or whatever. And, yeah. And she just makes them nothing. And I'm like, what? Like, what is that supposed to look like?
Right, yeah.
Like, it's literally just one color. Yeah, and so, yeah, that sucks for me. Is it like, to be like, let's figure out how to paint. Like, the oranges I painted on this last meal were apples. And she was like, you should maybe make them, or like, we can make them oranges because they were like old apples.
Yeah.
And she like... so I was like, all right, I'll just paint them oranges, like, because that seems simpler and the design doesn't even do anything. Like, it didn't help me, you know, like.
You mean like it didn't matter if it was apples or oranges?
Yeah, because her design was an outline.
Oh, okay.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, well, and she made them perfect circles. And I thought they were oranges the whole time. Because the outline was just like a circle.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm painting oranges. And she's like, oh, no, they're apples, but you could paint oranges.
Sure.
Because it doesn't fucking matter. Because I didn't figure out how to paint this thing before we're at the wall.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. Drives me absolutely crazy. I get so mad. I'm like, this is your fucking thing. Like, literally. 80% of the wall, I had to figure it out.
I see.
On the wall of her mural.
Sounds like you're more than an assistant here.
Yes. Good observation, Sergio.
Right. Yeah.
I just didn't. Well, the powwow one was a little weird because the gallery that curates it might have blocked me. You know what I mean?
Oh, right, yeah. How funny.
So, you know, I'm her assistant. No need to know who I am. Like, I don't want to ruin any of MJ's future opportunities, you know, like because of my loud mouth, in my opinions. Yeah. So I'm just trying to be like nice and being like, yeah, I'm just her assistant. Don't mind me.
Do you have an alias?
Thundercat Dome.
Yeah. I'm just Dragon Slayer over here.
Yeah.
Assisting Amiro.
Like, cool. Well, let's see your tattoos. You're like, I got none.
Yeah.
But I got a cool name. I don't know if you could have that name without a tattoo.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, I guess.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the first one I was like, and then the second one was like, I don't want to I don't want to have my name associated with this unless you're paying me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want money to live.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, they obviously think that your name is worth something if they're asking you.
yeah, and I think my name is worth something
Mm-hmm.
because people want me to do a lot of stuff that I say no to.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's fine. But yeah, so that's why I was like her assistant.
Mm-hmm.
If it was like a different scenario, I would be fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Like if we were getting paid more money or some shit like that, or because me and MJ would kind of also do like we like apply as a group to
Yeah.
things,
Mm-hmm.
but she applied to the Sacramento thing by herself.
Okay.
And then they reached out to her for the powwow one.
Oh, okay.
It's invite only,
Oh, that's cool.
I suppose.
Well, I mean, it's cool because people are finding you guys out. Like, just like
Yeah.
you're not having to do all the legwork in
Yeah.
that regard.
Yeah.
Putting your name out there, like as a muralist, like other than doing, you know, the proposals and applications and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
do you feel like it's worth having people reach out to you like that? Like, does it seem like it pays off in that way?
The festivals?
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
mean-
like something you're still.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna be like the aftermath of it.
Yeah. I think we'd have to answer that question in about a year from now is my guess.
Mm-hmm.
The Sacramento one I'm much more hopeful for because it's in such like it's like in a really good location.
Okay.
And it's a really good wall. And I actually really like the mural we ended up doing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like I think that one, and I think it has like it captures your attention a bit. So the hope is that, I mean, there's been like inquiries since on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and hasn't been that long. I think.
Oh, that's cool. People already inquiring.
Yeah. So, you know, and MJ gets a lot of like shout outs and stuff so far, like every day people
Oh,
are
really?
going and checking it out. So
Just other followers and stuff. Just like
yeah, or
posting their stories,
Sacramento.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's cool.
that one seemed where Lancaster's kind of like in its own little bubble, you know, and
Yeah. Lancaster is just far enough from LA that it's kind of like not LA anymore.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, maybe opportunities will come from it. I have no idea, but I think at least maybe the goal is to like potentially get into that like circle of powwow artist is the thought, and like maybe get like a couple free trips to like the Netherlands or like
for sure.
Japan or
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like there's like a couple spots where it's like, oh, it'd be cool to like have an all paid trip to like, you know, this place.
For sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Vanessa and I have been working on applying to this residency in Hawaii, actually, and it's kind of reminds me a little bit of like how you guys are doing murals together, where it's like it's a collaborative sort of thing. Like we were looking at different residencies just because it's like it's a good way to travel.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, it's cool because like they give you like a pretty good stipend. It's like $2,000 just like
Right.
live in Hawaii on in the park itself, like the national park that they have there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, we're working on that. It's interesting because like we have to like put together a proposal,
Right.
figure out what we're gonna do there while we're there. Like just like you can't just like slack on that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You
I
kinda
hear
have
it's
to
work
deliver.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and MJ applied to one. I forget, it's something like $50,000.
Oh, really? Wow.
And it was like, I don't know where exactly. But,
Was it a residency or was it a?
oh, there's one residency that we might try to do in San Jose.
Okay.
But I don't. It's attached to powwow somehow, so I'm not exactly
interesting.
sure how that works at all, to be honest. But
Do they give you a stipend?
I assume so, but I don't know shit about it. MJ would know more than I do. I just kind of just do whatever she makes me do
Yeah.
and throw a fit the whole way.
Yeah.
It's kind of my, it's like I'm that person in that movie. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But the $50,000 one, I forget how it works, but there's definitely some work involved, which, is whatever.
Right.
I guess if they give us $50,000.
But, MJ's good at like putting that kind of work in, right?
I guess. I think it's art related work. So
okay.
It scares me because,
Art related, like you have to create a piece of art for it, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
which isn't would terrify me because I think it has to do with more like social commentary type shit.
I see.
So might as well just push me off a bridge.
Yeah. I hear you.
But yeah. So hopefully she doesn't get it.
Hopefully she doesn't get it.
MJ likes to do shit like that. Like she gets blinded by the money. She's like, let's do it. I'm like, I don't want to do that at all.
Right. Yeah.
It's even like things like, for instance, I think it was like $150,000 mural call in San Francisco for a Harvey Milk mural, right?
Sure.
And we applied to it, and that's fine. But like in my head, I go who's perfect for that is Serge Gay.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like he's a gay man.
Yeah.
His husband's in politics. So he kind of understands that world. That's like, he's a part of that culture. He lives in the city. So like everything about him adds more value to like the mural. Do you know what I mean? Like he has an understanding that I don't have.
Yeah.
That like maybe I can do something great. I'm not saying like my mural would suck or anything, but it's like, but he's an awesome painter. He does murals.
Oh, does he do murals too?
Yeah, he checks a lot of like the wokeness boxes out there for anyone who decides on that reason. But like, even if it was like, there's something about like having a depth of knowledge. Like, if someone did a Star Wars mural and I didn't know shit about Star Wars, I feel like if there was an artist who like that was their reason they lived or they became artists and they're obsessed with it, I'm like, that person has a wealth of knowledge that I just don't have. Where I might paint a couple Ewoks and shit, there's like mainstream Star Wars shit, you know what I mean? Like, I won't care enough about the important things that maybe Star Wars people care. Do you know what I mean? So like when it comes to like things like a $50,000 thingy and they're looking for artists of color, which is like, all right, that's me. Like we're colorful. And those things, like all those things, like I don't know, they just make me not. I don't want my art to be like controlled by like some like topic that isn't make me fucking wake up in the in the morning and get excited.
That reminds me I don't know if you saw that Bohemian article recently. It's like it was something about mural art, and like I just skimmed through the article just to see. It's like oh yeah, that's exactly what I thought. They don't talk about the art almost at all. Right. It's all about like the person doing it and like what their agenda is behind it.
I hate it. I mean, it drives me fucking nuts, to be honest. Yeah. I mean,
I felt like it was clear to me that the writer who was writing didn't know anything about art. It's just like, writing, the talking points.
That's like, like that mural we got a lot of shit for down the street.
Exactly.
And now people use it like all the time on Instagram as like this symbol of us like fighting back, of like whenever there's protests, there's always people like using that as like, this is us. Like this wall represents us.
Yeah.
Which like it wasn't my intent, like
I know it's like a David Goliath story. So it's like, it could work for that.
Yeah, for sure. It could work for anything. Right. Like, But yeah, it's just that idea of like good versus evil.
Sure.
You know, the underdog versus the giant whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's that thing. But we got so much shit because first of all, people assumed that we weren't brown enough to fucking paint what we were painting.
Yeah.
And then after they found out we were wrong and they kind of hushed up on that, you find out like, oh, it's just because these people were in the mural world and they define themselves by being like, we're colored people, muralists.
Yeah.
This, like, we get to own murals because of who we are.
Yeah.
And it's not even you didn't even control that part. You know what I mean? Like, you guys aren't good artists, and the thing you're claiming is the thing you were born as.
Right.
Like, it took no skill to be born brown. I did it without even trying. I can tell you. I didn't even try that hard. My mom tried it, she pushed for a while, but I just kind of came out brown. So like, to me, like all these things are like, I don't know. It's not a skill. Like I love good artwork. And I think, people hiring someone because they're colored as a reason to justify the mural is so bad, because if the mural sucks, then it doesn't help get more people murals. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do you get, like, on the other hand, Serge Gay, a fucking super talented artist, you can hire him. He will make you dope artwork, and you support someone. If your fucking agenda is to support someone colored, find the fucking dopest guy out there and be like, you earned this shit. I mean, like.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, checks all the boxes.
Yeah, checks all the boxes for your wokeness, but he should get it no matter what. Like I would assume he would make something way better than I could on that topic. So I don't know. I fucking hate talking about all this shit. I feel like every conversation in these, like, this year they lead to like four things. You know what I mean? We all end up on like politics, race, or fucking coronavirus.
Yeah.
So 3 things. Oh, and fires now. So 4.
Now fires, yeah.
Goddamn.
It is what it is.
What about shark attacks? Do you know what I mean? What about fucking shark attacks?
Heard of any good shark attacks lately?
No, that's because the world's on fire. Have I told you my theory on that?
Of shark attacks?
Yeah.
No.
Like if there's shark attacks on the news, like, then
Things are good.
Things are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if there's no shark attacks on the news, then you're fucked. Where no one can tell me the last time you heard about a shark attack, Sergio.
God, it was like 3 or so years ago when that one girl, surfer girl got her leg, bit off. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny, like I have a clear depiction of when that actually happened.
Yeah. It's so fucking, because you see in the news they use the same shit. People on the beach being like, I just saw her yelling, and then they show like a clip of a shark swimming in the water, even though it's not the shark.
Yeah, it's just B-roll.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it's like, it gets burnt in your head, and you're like, fuck the ocean. I mean, unless you're me.
Right, yeah.
Great. No one go to the ocean. More space for me.
Yeah, this is great. It's like Tahoe in the winter.
Exactly. But yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully we get a lot of shark attacks in 2021.
Right, yeah.
That's my goal in life. I want so many deaths by sharks.
That should be the only news you hear.
Yeah. I want a shark pandemic. There's something in there. It's like Sharknado.
Yeah, Sharkdemic. There was a Birdemic, so yeah. How about a Sharkdemic? Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for? But yeah. Fucking hell. This year sucks.
Oh my God.
We just saw a friend at the grocery store right before we recorded. He was like, "Hey guys, how are things going?" We're like, "Good." And he's like, "How about you?" And he was like, "Well, you know." And he's like, "Yeah, this year sucks." He's like, "Yeah, you know." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck." Then we just left. But
Yeah.
you know, it's like, the fuck kind of conversation is that?
Right.
The fuck? Yeah, good times.
Yeah. It's like right now, the sky, it's supposed to be a heat wave right now, but the sky is so gray because of smoke. It's like 20 degrees.
Yeah, I know. It's supposed to be 100 a day.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, 100 and not that bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's a silver lining.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah,
That's all I got to hang my hat on right now. At the moment.
it's funny because I like this year has been so good for me.
Yeah.
Like I've had such like not only like has it been like financially good, but like I've had like a really good time this year for being such a shit show on fire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but for
Yeah,
the
I could
most
definitely
part,
point to a lot of good times.
yeah. I mean, the main thing I miss is like when we were at powwow, hanging out in like groups of people,
Yeah, I
and
was gonna
drinking
say,
beers
yeah.
and joking like that. To me, I was like, fuck, I miss this so much. Like I really do. Like, you know, the art shows were such a like a thing for me. Like, you know, there's always an art show every month, at least one. You know, and we didn't have to go to them, but like, you know, you probably went to an art show like at least once every other month.
Right,
Maybe
yeah.
see friends, hang out, drink some beers, talk some shit, you know, like whatever. And just that's the one thing that I'm like, fuck, I miss everyone. You know, we were hoping to get Monty on, or at least hang out at the least with him. Hopefully we can get him on and hang out soon. But yeah, I was like, fuck, man, I want to see you. I want to hang out with you. Like, I've called him before, FaceTimed him just so I could see that face. but yeah, I just miss hanging out with people. And that was like that was my funnest thing about powwow was like,
He's from Bakersfield.
Shout out, Mark.
so we were going to Lancaster. We had to pass Bakerfield, and we just said that on the way in and out. We're like, he's from Bakerfield. Shout out. That's the one thing I miss.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, it's a good thing, like, we at least have a artist partner, so
Yeah.
can at least talk about art with them. But yeah, it's like, you do miss that whole thing of
Going to bars or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait till that fucking vaccination comes out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no
take that
kidding.
shit so fast.
Yeah, no kidding.
I swear to God. The second I can get my hands on that thing, I'm gonna grab it from the doctor's hand and stick it in my neck.
Yeah.
Like, I can go to bars now. I can go to bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be. I remember there was a comedian, like early on a podcast that said, like, do you think that when this all ends, what do you think's gonna happen? Do you think people are gonna be too terrified to like go to bars? And then the other comedian, maybe it wasn't a comedian, I don't remember, but they were like, I assume it was because their answer was, no, it's gonna be a huge fuck fest. Like everyone's gonna be just like so wanting to go and like be around people that there's gonna be a lot of babies and STDs.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be the baby boom of 2021.
Yeah. You know, so
It's probably true. Like,
yeah.
are single people like figuring out a way to date right now? I have no idea.
I don't know. All I know is, yeah, I don't know. Who was it that said they went on a date with someone? I don't know. I can't remember. God damn it. These are things I should remember.
Friend of yours or?
Yeah, it was at least someone I was talking to. Went on a date, and I was like, oh, darn Corona. I was like, I didn't think about that. But they were like chit-chatting for a while.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
before they hung out or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I miss that shit.
For sure.
Definitely should throw a party when all this shit ends.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's gonna for sure be a thing, right? Like
Oh yeah, everybody.
like a Corona, like Ding Dong, the witch is dead kind
Right,
of song. But yeah, I don't know. How are we on time?
Actually, that's a good question.
1:42, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Nice. Should we call it?
Yeah. If you
Do
want
we
to
have
do
anything else to say?
Let's see.
Let's see. We didn't have any questions or anything, right?
Not that I got. I think other questions. The only questions you got were like, "Are you guys still doing the podcast?"
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I have on here that we didn't talk about was dealing with procrastination. God, I can't remember what it was. All right. I usually write more than that so I can remember like all my thoughts, because I feel like I always talk about some shit like that, like the whole like mind game shit.
Okay.
I don't remember. Whatever. It happens. Deal with your procrastination.
Yeah.
One thought I had today was about there's like I think we might have talked about this before, but I don't know. I think it was a Radio Lab or some shit. One of those type of podcasts where they were talking about how like creatives cheat a lot more, like in like games and stuff.
Interesting.
Or like creatives in general, like since they're good at problem solving, they're always trying to figure out a way. Maybe that's what the procrastination thing was. This was, no, it can't be. It's somehow tied together. But that they're good at like figuring out like how to problem solve, which means they're good at making excuses, which means they're good at like convincing themselves of shit.
Interesting.
And God damn it, maybe I didn't flesh out this idea fully. It was like I remember thinking of it while I was walking out of the bathroom and leaving. But yeah, something about like, I don't know.
Was it a recent Radiolab episode?
No, it was like I heard this like months ago.
Oh, okay.
And it just popped in my head. I think I was working out ideas in my brain, how I do. So I'm like, oh, that thing kind of explains this thing. I think I think what made me think of it was I remember we had this conversation about comfort.
Yeah.
And you were more pro comfort than I was.
Sure.
And I think I was bouncing around that idea, and I was like, I think that's what it was. I was like, I wonder if that's Sergio convincing him, like being good at explaining something to himself by convincing it to himself. As like, and I was like thinking, I think that's how I got there. And then from there, I was like, I wonder how much, I think I attached that to procrastination as like, because I've heard artists say like, oh, I need to procrastinate. Like it's part of my process.
Okay.
You know, have you ever heard artists say that? And they go, and then
yeah.
I've heard people say, and they go like, yeah, and that day, and I hit it hard and yada yada.
I think that's like a version of needing deadlines.
Yeah. And they'll wait to the last minute and then go hard in the paint. And like,
okay,
that's part of my process. Maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't know. My mind jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
And God, I just lost it. And just the whole like I think being aware of that as an artist is good, and then combating bad ideas is good. Not saying your idea of comfort's a bad idea. I'm just saying
well, yeah, I haven't even like decided if that's the best way to do things or not. So
yeah,
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I think it's also like combating your idea of that's probably also combating the idea that somehow struggle is a benefit, which it might be, but like that it's a necessary thing. I think is probably like maybe your instinct to combat that with
Right.
with comfort being the opposite of struggle.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, it's like trying to figure out if struggle is necessary and if comfort is an enemy.
Right. Yeah. And I think I would assume that there is benefits in both.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And there's probably downfalls in both. I mean, if you're super struggling,
Yeah.
you got to pay them bills.
Yeah. If you're just stressed all the time, it's hard to really get into a place where you're able to explore your ideas and stuff fully. That's my assumption.
Yeah, probably. Also, life is struggle and pain. Shout out to my teens listening. Awesome. Well, I think that was the only thing I had, and that we kind of squeezed in sloppily at the end.
Yeah. All right.
Shall we call it?
Yeah. Anything you wanted to promote or anything coming up for you?
Just if you guys could rate and review this podcast, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I don't think we've gotten any reviews recently.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you could, the last one I think we got said something like, "We support racist." So it would be cool if that wasn't, the first thing people say.
Right. Yeah.
People say.
That would be nice. Do us a solid.
Because, although we do,
Yeah.
that's what we do as a hobby.
Right.
He's like,
It's got nothing to do with our podcast.
we're like at their rallies, like people are at like the Tour de France. We're like, you can go do it.
Yeah.
And then go be racist. But yeah, if you could,
Yeah.
not have people think that's what we do.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or not, whatever.
Say something. Just make sure you hit that 5-star when you do it.
Yeah, you could say that. Just give us 5 stars.
Right. We support racists, and I do too. So 5 stars.
Oh God, we're horrible people. Awesome. I got a show in November in New York
Right on.
that I'm working on. So we'll record before that. And
For sure.
anyone in New York, get ready to get your mind fucking blown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your mind. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I got a show. I think. Let's see, October 4th, I believe, is when it opens at a Supersonic curated show with Spoke Art. So I have a painting in that.
Can I ask you something?
Uh-huh.
Is it supersonic?
Yeah.
And you start breaking
I
things.
start popping, start locking. Dust off the linoleum.
Supersonic.
Yeah. Sonic. Yeah, I wish I had that queued up. And then other than that, I finally got a beta tester for my course.
I'm an alpha. No big deal. I
Yeah.
don't do that beta testing stuff.
You're not a beta male.
I only have alphas test my course out.
Right. Yeah.
Was this shit sweet, bro, or not? Dope? Was that dope?
So yeah, looking for a few more of those. Hit me up if you want to help me get my course off the ground. There's a lot of incentives in it for you. So yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome. So if you want to paint like a master, then yeah, hit up Sergio. So it's a free beta?
No, right now it's well, I'm thinking about maybe doing a giveaway for a couple of beta testers, but
Nice.
but no, there's a $99 fee for that right now.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Fuck it. And if you want Sergio to consider giving away a course, leave a rating review.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying he's going to do it,
Yeah.
but if you want him to consider it a little bit longer, Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. That's not that bad of a price.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm just trying to get the kinks worked out. So it's a course that I'm thinking
It's
it's
a little
probably
kinky.
yeah, exactly. The online course after dark. But yeah, it will be like the actual like public launch will be a lot more than that. So
right.
if you guys want to get in on the ground floor, I mean, you'll get lifetime access. So get in while you can.
Yes. Awesome. Well, good luck. And, yeah. Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the podcast.
Glad to be back.
Hell yes. We're back, baby. Hey, baby. This has been Wet and Dry. If you're still listening, fuck off.